Hi everyone, I am Orry, and welcome to the look at the unofficial translation from the 91st live letter. Now, before we start, just a little thing to cover, because I think this is really awesome. I think it's something that a lot of players will be a fan of. So they showed in the 10 minutes before the live letter started that they showed a few little figures. Like if you see these are of players. So they mentioned it's something they've actually started to look into, little Warrior of Light figurines that we might be able to start getting. Now they said that obviously like it depends on prices and stuff like that, and then colors and all sorts of other stuff. But I think they also mentioned that, where was it? That they're gonna, I think they're gonna be more announcements about it in the upcoming FanFest, which is obviously awesome. I'm super excited for this because I've always wanted, and I think everybody wants a little figurine or some kind of figurine of their Warrior of Light for a little connection. I think that's awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to start with that before we went through, because it was just before the actual live letter itself. Now, being a part 1 live letter, obviously there's no gameplay footage, so I would just go through Discord and scroll through of the translations we did get. Big thanks to Miyuna and Aluna always for doing these translations. Really, really good job. If you guys want to check this out, I will leave a link to the Discord, because it's on the, which one is it? It's on, yeah, it's just on the Final Fantasy 14 one. I forgot what the Discord's called, but I will link it anyway. I'll get the invite and I'll put it there. You guys check it out yourselves. It's awesome. Be sure to always check in with their streams and stuff like that as well, because they do an amazing job. Right, but let's get into it. Obviously, they mentioned it was part 1, so there's no in-game footage. Part 2, which will be a week before the first FanFest, which is in 42 days, which is crazy to think, actually, that it's just 42 days before we find out about the expansion. I'm super hype. I know my cousin's been playing this more, and like he's super excited about it too, because it'll be like the first proper expansion he's like been fully caught up with and stuff. Anyway, 7.5, it's going to be a long patch. They showed we will get into it. They showed the timeline. It's going to be a long patch, but there's a lot of content, so it should be fine. They mentioned again it was 42 days until FanFest. It's a very packed schedule. I do not envy them. I would imagine it's going to be a lot of stuff. They showed the patch. What's it called? The artwork looking amazing as per the usual. It's really cool. All starting to center around this the key, looking pretty good. Big fan of that. And the patch is called Trail to the Heavens. We went to the moon. I suppose it's now time to go to the heavens, right? But yeah, it should be cool. They made a big thing of it. Is everyone gonna die? And I decided laughing. It was quite cool. So here we go. Part 1. 28th of April, which is a week after the FanFest, I believe. Yeah, it's 4 days after the FanFest. So the FanFest is a weekend. The Tuesday following that will be the patch. And then part 2, this is the story. The part 2 of the story will be early September, but 7.55 itself will be in July, which is here. And here is the nice little graph. It's cut off a little bit, it's just because the way it's screen sized. But I will read out the way it all is. So the schedule will be, so it's the 24th is the FanFest, but it's the week prior is going to be the second live letter. That will have all the trailer and the gameplay for 7.5 that they normally show. I can't wait to see Beastmaster. Very excited. Then it's the NA FanFest. Then 7.5 on the 28th, so the following Tuesday. Then 7.51 will be early June. July is the EU FanFest, which will be even more. We'll find out some more jobs at that point. We'll get at least one of them. I'm gonna go with P range tank. If physical range don't get something this time, it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth, I'll be honest. So they deserve something. They deserve something for sure. 7.55 is late July. Now, generally, we'd get the story with this. However, The story for part 2 is going to be in 7.56, which will be early September. And then after that will be the Japanese Fan Fest on the 31st of October. That's it's going to be a long patch, at least April to November. That's a long time. But you'll see just how much content there is, and it's a good one. So we've got some screenshots of the MSQ coming up. This should Shale, one of the best looking Alizons there is. If you've got screenshots of your Alizons that look like this, I'm a big fan of good looking Alizon. I like Alizons. They look cool, despite being a pure. But it is what it is. But again, the key is here. I'm excited for this because it means it's a forward of Azam and stuff like that. So a lot of us and stuff like that. At this point in my live stream, when I was reacting this to watching this live with my cousin, and he honestly thought this was Cryle, and then he saw the ears. It was funny to watch. But yeah, obviously Loporrit so we're back on the moon. Ryanje dealing with the Loporitts a little bit more, so we should find out. It's nice to see them back in the story because obviously they had that little bit in Endwalker, but then kind of see you later. This screenshot is very similar. I saw it posted on it was on Twitter or X, what you want to call it. And it's very, very similar to one that Xeno did. Or Xenos, whatever it was called. Sorry, I used to just call it Xeno and Xenos, same thing. Xenos is, yeah, he's looking up at the moon before we went to the moon. So it's a kind of a similar shot. I quite like that. They mentioned there have been many storylines coming together and concluding, but it's time to move forward with our story further again. And then they started talking about moons and turning red, but they said, please look forward to the story moving forward, and in FanFest they could talk more about it, which is awesome. Some Dawn Trial Allied Society capstone quests. Usually these are when you've basically completed all of them. So you've done all of the Beast Tribes, all the Allied Societies. There's like a quest line added, which is kind of cool. So you get extra quests and a couple of rewards and stuff. So this looks super fun. Nice couple of screenshots. These are really awesome. If I remember correctly, that's a boss from the level 93 dungeon? Or is it? Yeah, 93. And then the Wachumeki's running away from a griffin. That should be fun. It's going to be a very fun quest. I look forward to it when I inevitably. So I've got time now. Actually, I can complete these. I might start actually doing them on stream. Get used to it. See more. Obviously, Urkopatra. Very good looking area. It's a nice little view there. Another screenshot of the quests. This made me laugh. This was awesome. This is not from the Society quests, but those who will see this, they know. This is an Oglop. It's from FF9. And it looks really good. Like, the graphics are crazy. Like, graphics are mad. Like, it looks so good. But this is part of more Hildebrand, which I don't think I've done Hildebrand this time. I need to get on it, because it's looking interesting. Some little zombie things. So it should be fun here. Then Hildebrand himself. Again, we love Hildebrand. He's silly, he's fun. We're excited. New custom deliveries. Always good to have an extra one. Fun ways to get your seals and obviously someone else. And it is Tisolja. This will be in Mamuk, I would imagine. So always fun. Always fun. They're adding more duty support. Now it will be with Dust Vigil and Shishui, or however you pronounce it. It's the first 2 dungeons of Stormblood. Those they did mention that they did get a bunch of feedback about how the mechanics do get a reduction in difficulty but they say because of duty support, they kind of have to. They had, but it is what it is. As long as the mechanics are fun, like you don't need the most difficult thing. As long as they stay engaging, it should be okay, right? That's the way I see it, at least. Most of it's added for obviously solo players. Like, yes, it's an MMO, but there are people they have an anxiety towards playing with others, so it is quite cool that they can do it that way. Always PvP updates, PvP Season 11, obviously the usual adjustments to actions, balance, and there'll be a new arena. They showed this arena, and you'll see it when I scroll down. I think it's my favorite. Like, hands down, I think it is just fantastic. Oh, here's some screenshots of it right now. This craziness. Absolutely. It's such a stunning, like, to look at place. So it's this one. And it's just, I think what is it called? Archaea Harmonious. Probably butchered that. But it's like a library vibe. This is so beautiful though. Like, just I wouldn't get any PvP done. I'd die. Like, I'd feed like actively. Could it be like this bit here? Like, I'd just be looking around and end up just allowing and getting picked off. It'd be crazy. So that was the PvP update. Probably more. We might actually see what it looks like in game next live letter in a few weeks. But it is crazy. But it's looking interesting. He did mention, because generally when we see this type of stuff, if you've seen, you kind of get the vibe with this already, or where it is. But they had to kind of like talk about it because it makes it look like rebuilding, but it's not a rebuild. This is the dungeon for next patch. It is towards Garlemald, and it is called the Clatium. Probably butchered that. No doubt we'll find out in the MSQ. We'll be fine. Someone will say it. And you guys can correct me in the comments below. They said this may or may not be related to it. It absolutely is. I think they go on, if I remember correctly, they start talking about how this kind of push on goes a little bit further. So it's absolutely, but it is related to it is part of the MSQ, so we shall see. It's looking really cool. I do like Garlemald. I mean, I'm interested. I would love to have seen Garlemald like in its heyday and like wandered around the cities and stuff. It's really, really cool. Yeah, they mentioned I just thought Garlemald had calmed down, but obviously things are on fire. So something's happening. More screenshots again. This place looks crazy. Like it's a very, very pretty place. Like just all the little looks like markets or some kind of wonder. So it's really, really cool. And then we get this big entrance to maybe a boss arena. Maybe. Might just be an entrance to somewhere. It could be at the end. Oh, zoomed in there. And then, yeah, so please look forward to it. We got the usual, please look forward to it. I'm very excited for this. I like Garlemald, so I'm very, very much looking at 24-man enjoyers. While I'm not an 11 player, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed this so far. A couple of screenshots of the new 24-man, the third walk. What's this one called? This one's called Windurst. Third walk. Those who plays 11, she's back. She's here. Yeah, Yoshi P mentioned. And I'm not going to say, I won't say her name for the sake of if you don't want to know her name and you're watching this, I don't want to be a spoiler ruiner for you. But yeah, he did say if she ever basically, yeah, if she unleashes her power, it's over. It's game over. It's Jova. She's strong. And if you played 11, you jolly well know just how strong she is. I can't wait. But she said terrible things happening in the content and it's voiced. So I'm very excited for that. Can't wait. I love more and more if they keep adding more and more voices. I love that. I love the voice acting. I love combat and voice acted stuff. It's really, really cool. Some more screenshots of the place. It's craziness. Actually, Yoshi P mentioned here, like, when 11 got released for PS2, he wasn't even at Square Enix yet. Which is, it's crazy to think, like, that far back. But yeah, I think this just looks sensational. Like, just, it is crazy good. Then more screenshots again. Like I said, I don't know the areas because I never really played 11. In fact, not even really. I didn't play 11. I haven't. The combat system doesn't seem like my vibe, but the areas look beautiful. Obviously, they mentioned took a screenshot from an angle that might seem familiar, so it's relevant and it's craziness, so it should be fun. And as I said, looking forward to the music. So 11 people, rejoice, enjoy. People that are playing just 14 still enjoy the 11, still enjoy the content. It's still very good. It's still very fun, and just obviously look around because it is going to be amazing to look at. The new trial. Now I don't know who this is. I'll be honest. I feel like I should do. I recognize them for whatever reason is just gone out of my mind. But I'm gonna butcher it again. Inu is the new trial. Also, I think related to MSQ. Should be very, very, very fun. So we're in Garlemov for the dungeon. So why this trial? So there's some connection, and they mentioned how people figured it out so quick. I'm not one of them in this case. But they say there's going to be many shifts in plot, so it might feel like it's moving fast at some points than others. So obviously just keep that in mind as as we go. The new Unreal is Shinryu. Now, they did mention on release that it was difficult. I'd say it was, but I found a lot of it was just targeting issues. I remember I was playing Astra back then. For a bunch of for like my group, and the issues I had was targeting dragon heads through Shinryu's hitbox. It was quite annoying. Trying to get like a heal off or a quick essential dignity on them while you're like still dealing damage, and you'd accidentally not click on the dragon head, and then you'd click Shinryu and you'd ED yourself, which was annoying. What we're looking at, the music and the mechanic where you cross over on the oh yeah, so apparently they said that the music and the mechanic where we cross over on the back, it influenced a scene from Endwalker. Now if you guys know just like I do, you know which one it'll be. It's slightly different, but you get the picture. If you know it, good on you. I've only really just thought about it, so yeah, it's really cool. And then yeah, icicles and stuff like that. It's all super awesome. Now here's an ultimate. Now I said, they won't show it. It is very likely that we'll get a teaser at the end of the trailer. It'll be in there somewhere, very likely at the end or something, where it'll just be like, I'll do this, it'll fade to black, and then bang, it'll show us what the new ultimate is. Because they said, oh, let me just give you the title. Never mind, because it's still secret. It's gonna be fun. I have no idea what it could be. Could it be the raid tier for last time with Pandemonium? Could be. It could be the Four Lords. It could be the Warrior Triad and Kefka. It could be Christ. There's just so much it could actually be. So we'll see. So he said, please wait until FanFest. And then they were asking, and he was reading chat to basically say, what do you think the ultimate will be? And then he started to like tease and psych out of it. Like, was he reading the correct answers, etc. He said, please just wait 42 days. New Phantom weapons. Now, their attitude on this was actually, it impressed me. I was a big fan of the way they just kind of have committed to they know people there in mind. I'll show you the pictures, and they did and like the mentioning of it. And these are basically two of the new relics. It's Viper and Dancer. They're the final forms. They look amazing. Big fan. I'll be glim-glamming those Viper ones. Quick time. I think it's good. And the reason why he said they're just going to show them is people data mine them. So why not? Like, this is a lot of people, like a lot of effort went into them. And then generally they withhold showing the final models, but people data mine it anyway. So essentially, fuck it. Just have a look at them, which is good. So they start showing some of the final models next time, which is good. Because it's one of those. They can leave it as a surprise, and it gets data mined, so the surprise gets ruined. Or they can just show us, which I just show us at this point. Honestly, I think it's just the way. I can be excited to then get my shiny weapon, and it gives me another reason. They said they've become a lot more comfortable with a graphic update in their workflow, so it obviously allows them to create stuff like this, which fair play to them because they look sensational. We then started, they moved on to Occult, the new content, so it's North Horn now instead of South Horn. All we can show you is now is just the landscape and screenshots. So we've got a nice little view of this bit, and then we've got it from a different, slightly different angle. It looks really cool. I do like the Occult, and then we've got like some, I don't know if it's actually nighttime or just like, and these are floating like Nim things, you know, in Outer Lenos, like where they float with Nim. I don't know if that's the vibe, or I don't know if they're kind of a cave vibe, but it looks cool. I think the areas in South Horn looked amazing, so it should be definitely cool. And I remember listening to these, and I was like, yeah, cool. I like the changes. They're learning, and it's very cool. So she says, venture to the North Horn and make new discoveries. There's new monsters, new critical engagements, and new fates, which we all could have guessed, but it's the thing. Maximum knowledge level has been increased to 40. If I recall correctly, it's 20 at the moment, so it's another 20. And then there's multiple new phantom jobs, which there's a few of them I'm not sure of, but I mean, if I remember correctly, it's like Black Mage, White Mage, Green Mage, Red Mage, Dragoon, Ninja, and I don't know the last two. So, which is, yeah, it's this one. I didn't see anything. Then they started, there's a new Folk Tower. And this was mentioned a few live letters ago, but they are making a normal and extreme 2 difficulties, which is very good. Normal is for those who look to enjoy the story through a casual experience, whereas extreme is those seeking a challenge. Both normal and extreme is up to 48 players. You don't need 48 players to enter. It's up to 48, which is good, which is fun. But they reiterated again, you don't need 48 players. It's a maximum of 48 players in order to enter. They said that they designed to normal, so you can go with a small amount of players, which is fine because obviously it's going to get busy. It's something obviously like normal. So like newer people coming, you're going to want to be able to do this. Entering normal mode. No ciphers required. Now, if you did Southfront, you know about ciphers and all it is. But now you simply stand on top of the ethereal node and it'll register your interest for the duty. If more than 48 players essentially are on top of it to enter the node, participants get selected randomly. And if you don't get in, your next entry will be given priority. So it's not a case of you're never getting in if you just stand on top of it. Like if you stand there, you're going to stand there for 4 hours being like, oh, well, I wasn't picked again and again and again. You get given priority, which is good. I think that's a very good way to do it. The extreme difficulty. So entering extreme, again, no cipher is required. I think that's good. Extreme can only be accessed from extreme mode instances, which prevents it's separate from normal instances, which is really good because then there could be no crossover. Extreme instances can be entered by alliances of 12 or more players in 3 or more parties. So there's 12 people across 3 parties can enter an extreme instance, which means it's like a organized thing, which means obviously you can't just stumble into an extreme. It's very like organized content. It always has been, and they're just reiterating that, which is good. And then upon entering the extreme instance, the Folk Tower just unlocks instantly, so you don't have to wait, which is always good. You can obtain new gear in the North Horn, which I'm actually quite excited to see because it was very, very cool to look at. Like a lot of like nice glim wise. Yeah, so maybe some more nice glim to go by. Especially with being able to glamour over literally any job now, so it's obviously, it only bodes well. The possibilities are endless, as they say. Collect the required items to enhance and upgrade your equipment to the highest level to obtain the mightiest gear on the Isle. If you've already done the South Horn gear, you can skip some of the steps to begin with when you're enhancing your gear in North Horn, which I think is so good because it means you haven't wasted your time. Which he did say, because you've now got time, if you want to get a head start, you can go back and do it. Which is obviously it's a good vibe. So if you want to prepare, do some of the current gear, get some skipping. But yeah, he said they got a lot of feedback last time, so they've tried to split the difficulties while keeping the hard mode engaging. Excuse me. Which, yeah, I just think it's a good idea. It's just really good. He's going to talk a little bit more about awards in the next live letter. Obviously, maybe the time after next. Ooh. It's an odd one at the moment, rewards, because of what's happened recently with the criterion. I think that's very much something they need to talk about. It's a mixture for people when it comes to rewards, because some people just like doing the content, but then others like the replayability in the rewards. So we'll see what they say. This is when they took a break. We had a little Mahjong clip, which was quite funny, and then there was the music video for Smile. It's on their YouTube if you actually want to see it. Then was a 15-minute break. I am going to take a very small sip of my drink. When they came back, something I'm very excited for. We saw Beastmaster. He started showing, I think the armor looks cool. To be fair, that hair's kind of a vibe. Like the hair coloring. Really suits. So Beastmaster, new limited job. Its class is a melee. But obviously it's limited, which means it can't go into any like normal standard party and stuff. It's akin to Blue Mage. But it's got its own so obviously its own content and stuff to do. Which, based on what they say, is cool. So let's get into that. Only in PowerPoints today. They're showing it in the next live letters, which obviously I will show you footage and we'll go through it individually. Let's go through. It did get out, so you capture beasts and call them to your side to fight by your side. It is a melee. Oh, this is actually cut off. Let me just move this over for you just for a second. Just move this. There we go. Let's just hide that behind me for a sec. Because it is cutting off. There we go. Right. There we go. It has one-handed axe. You have a little shield in your arm. I think that's obviously just vanity. It's melee DPS. Starts at level 1. A level cap 50 for now. There are also job quests on release. I now need to move it back over. This will probably just go back and forth now on certain things. It's a melee DPS. We mentioned unlock conditions is just Disciple of War. All magic above level 50, completed 2.0, and that you have Dawn Trail registered on your account. Doesn't mean you have to be in the Dawn Trail expansion, just means you have to have bought Dawn Trail. So if you're a new player and for whatever reason all you want to do is play a Beastmaster, all you got to do is buy the game, make sure Dawn Trail's on your account, finish 2.0 and you can play Beastmaster. Who cares? And enjoy your life. Move this back over. To capture mobs, you need to weaken them in the field. Then you weaken beasts in the wild before capturing them. There's up to 50 different beasts that can be tamed. There are exactly 50. It says up to 50 there, but they showed the log. You'll see it. There are exactly 50. Which one of them is nuts, and I can't wait to try it. But Yoshida was saying that your first step should just be to try and capture as many mobs as possible to fill the bestiary, which is fine. We show a little dodo here, which is always funny. That's 50 of the mobs, and they showed the Golgamera with this. If you recognize it, you might think, oh, where's this from? This is from Northern Fallon. It is a fate. So this should be an interesting one. So everything can be has been designed so you can capture them all solo, which is good because if you don't like playing in a group, or you'd rather do it at a later time when no one's about, and then you can show off the mobs you've captured. All beasts captured for solo. Call upon the tamed beast to walk beside you, and that's what it means by you can show them off. Then we go through it. Then they showed what the bestiary looks like. So let's just move this over so you guys can have a proper look. I'm slightly out of the way. But yeah, so this was how it is. So you can see there is number 50. So there is at least 50 of them. Each of them have their own little unique. So they come in small, medium, or large. Different auto attack elements, different beast types, 2 attacks, Also it depends on different mobs, and obviously where you find them. They showed this screenshot, which was just funny to me, that these guys have no idea what's being dunked on their head. I was saying to my when I was watching it, I said to my cousin when we saw Behemoth, I was like, I can guarantee you his skill is Ecliptic Meteor. And lo and behold, the next screenshot we see is a Behemoth casting Meteor. Yoshida mentioned that it's literally an entirely new battle system that they've done. You can have up to 3 beasts accompany you at one time and use their abilities and actions to fight alongside you. I'm super excited to see how all this comes together. And with it being, yes, it is classed as MLE DPS. However, Blue Mage is classed as a caster. But it has a tank role, it has a healer role, and it has a DPS role. I'm wondering whether for some of the content you have mobs which make you more tanky, or mobs that have more of a heal related thing, and then some of those make you a DPS, or whether you're just tanky or whatever. So it should be interesting to see. It says your own actions and rotations change depending on the mobs we have, which is cool. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. So the tactics will change depending on the beast you have at your side. Use the instinct system to fight in tandem with your beast. I'm assuming the instinct system is something new on their side. You should have said it'll feel overwhelming to explain everything at once, so the job quests take you through it bit by bit, which is good. I think learning that way is a very good thing. They're going to demo it next live letter in about a month from now, actually, which I'm super excited about. I really can't wait. So since the level cap's 50, obviously, even when I started, I was like, oh, 50 is a bit low, given we're now at level 100, and even Blue Mage is at level 80. So they've made unique extra content just for Beastmaster, which when I first saw this picture, it reminds me of those gacha games where you have those little like tunnels and you just got to pick which way to go. I know it's big in like HSR, and a lot of gacha games have it in general, where you'll go on a path and you got to select where it's just like, oh, treasure box, boss, rest, treasure box, big boss, and you get rewards at the end. They literally said there's going to be loads of rewards. Not quite sure what those rewards are. Are they only Beastmaster related? Are they only, well, like, what is it? So I'm excited to see what those are. This is called the Crucible of the Unbroken. It is dedicated single player content, and it's a completely new type of duty, unlike anything in 14 so far. I'm intrigued to see what this is, because the carnival was is unique to Blue Mage just on its own as well. But I think this has the chance to be even more unique. Because the Blue Mage, you do like I was gonna say you do the ultimates. You don't. People want to do the ultimates. And I hope one day they can, but it would kind of, yeah. You can play just to clear it, but they're also trying to implement some kind of ranking system, which I think will be really fun for players if they really want to try hard and like optimize. Mr. Ozma, the man himself, he's responsible for all of it. The job design from the ground up and the content. So well played, Mr. Ozma. I can't wait to see what all of the hours you've put in has equated to. I'm super excited. He said that's all we can show, but the in-game on the how to play he's going to show next time. There's a lot of volume in it, so it should be fun. This is where it gets disappointing for some people, because they did apologize, because they did say they were going to update Blue Mage in 7.x, and Beastmaster took all of their resources, so they've had to push Blue Mage like into 8.x. He says they know many have been looking forward to it, and they apologize, but it will come in the future. They've just had to prioritize Beastmaster. Which, to be fair, I kind of had a feeling this might end up being the case. It's no small feat to make yet another limited job, and you've kind of got to keep it. The way I see it is you've got to keep it unique. You can't have Beastmaster, but it works exactly like Blue Mage does, because then you're just recycling the same content. So it had to be its own special thing, which it looks like it's going to be. And obviously that has taken a lot more time and resources than maybe they initially thought. But I think that's fine, because they'll then add Blue Mage and so much. But as long as people don't argue, now they should do Beastmaster over Blue Mage or Blue Master. As long as there's enough equal, like, between the pair of them, I think it should be fine. And they also turn around and say, Beastmaster will take you to places in the field we haven't been for a long time. Now, bear in mind, I have not been to most of Realm Reborn places. True. Remembering where certain mobs were and try to find them again. That I'll look forward to, and so then you can train those captured mobs and eventually challenge the rankings. Can't wait for that. Fishers, rejoice. Ocean fishing, also a really good place to level. They've got a new route, it's Stavner, so really cool for that one. Apparently there's comments for asking for level, like a level increase for the Chocobo. But you have everything by its Chocobo rank, so I'm by its max rank, so I don't know. Oh, there will be some stuff about Chocobos I can talk about soon. Did not know that. So I'm very excited. I didn't see that comment before, so interesting stuff coming with Chocobos. We shall see. Yet another picture for more Thavnair related things. New cosmic exploration. A very, very green planet. Very green, but very cool. He goes, oh, this looks like Redania. Are we back? Well, no, it's just a very green planet. It looks very cool. It's very futuristic, actually. Very big fan of, like, all of this. These little buildings. It's very, very eco. Very cool. Kind of gives me, like, the vibes of some of these buildings remind me of Elpis a little bit. Like the paths remind me of Elpis. The buildings aren't Elpis related, though. They said more, they showed the pictures and then just said more about the content and rewards for it next time during the part 2. And he said, there's still more. Just an announcement, we're working on multiplayer content for the Gold Saucer. That's just an announcement that's coming. We don't know yet. So it's more multiplayer content for the Gold Saucer. It will come in the Fire 7.5x series, so it will come before the expansion, which is good. But there is a reason why they have to wait with announcing the details for it. So sorry to keep you waiting. But that was it. Now, we move into a part that got me very excited and honestly, craziness. Housing update. Been waiting for this because I've been waiting to finish my house for a very long time. Just adding a little bit. They've increased the placement limits for indoors and outdoors by quite a substantial margin as well, actually. So smalls 2 to 300 on the inside, 220 to 40 on the outside, and then it's got the same increase on the storeroom because obviously there's more. So it's 300 to 450 for mediums, 30 to 60 for the outside, 400 to 600 for large, but 200. I'm basically capped at 400 at the moment for my house. So extra 200 items because they're going to make it look fresh. 40 to 80 for outdoors, crazy. The stuff you're going to be able to do is nuts. 100 and 150 for apartments and private chambers. Love that. Good storage. Loving that FFC. They said, let me move it back over. There we go. They mentioned since we have more time, we've had to increase the storeroom. They said there's going to be settings now that allow you to reduce the players shown to basically prioritize furniture displays or basically to prioritize what's close to you, which obviously with 600 potentially it's going to be quite crazy. And he already jokes and said there's only going to be players asking for another increase in about 6 months or so because they're now even more intricate. He said this should allow for designs that haven't been possible so far. He then went further on to start talking about some of the stuff about houses, which is good because the housing system is decent, but obviously it's in 14. It's quite hard to get a house. It's quite annoying with the lottery system and everything. So when you get a house, you want it to be as cool as possible. Now we get into the little bits of more implementations, which is really good. It says we also finally managed to get the interior change working that he'd been talking about previously, which is when you basically have a small house, but you can have a large house interior in the inside. So it's like the TARDIS. You just appear, you just go, boom, it's huge. So he said that will be in the next update, not this one. And then also wanted to update the housing UI. Always down for that. And then they said it's comment saying, it does only feel that only pros can make use of things right now. And he's talking about, and he mentions here, floating furniture. There is a ways to do that, and there's plugins. Say anything. And it's a bit of a ball ache. It's very annoying to try and do that. So they're talking about more details for a later day. I'm sure they're talking about ways to float furniture and do other stuff. Because you see some houses, and they're amazing. And doing my house was a very long process myself. And it could be better in a lot of ways if it was natively supported in-game. Yeah, so the first step of housing update is 7.5 is the furniture placement increase, which is amazing. I can't wait. And then the step after will be the interior change. And I would imagine the step after that will be the UI update. They showed that it's new interior fixture designs. It's kind of like a clean wall type thing, with like skylight flat roofs, like more modern house, I think, because then you don't need those chandeliers and stuff. So I think that was pretty cool. And then we get on to, he joked about this, and honestly, it was really surprising. He said this next update will be more important to some than the actual content he's already mentioned. And it's about Glim Glam. So he's not wrong. I'm super excited. Armoire updates. I'm going to move this over and I will read it out. Basically, they're increasing the usage for the armoire. It's always been kind of limited. Like, so you have to keep storing stuff in your garment dresser, and it takes up so much room. So here, they're doing amazing stuff. All job-specific gear, all artifact gear, can now go in the armoire, which is amazing. All the gear from dungeons introduced in Dawn Trail, that can all go in the armoire. They're also adding basically the option to store gear from earlier dungeons. It will gradually roll out, and the ability to store dungeon gear as outfits is also under consideration, which will also be really cool. We love that. Love that they're doing that. They're also doing it so you can now just take one item out if you've stored it as what's it called? If you stored it as an outfit, you can have just one piece out, as opposed to all of it. This system, this new dye system, they decided to consolidate dyes, which will save them a lot of it as space. It will save us a lot of heartache, and my retainers thank them. They're consolidating dyes. So basically, many dyes will be consolidated into 3 bases: Type A, Type B, Type C. He did note that they had the name for basically the name up until yesterday, but Yoshi didn't like it, so he banned it. So now this is so the way dyeing will work now is you'll have Type A, you'll have Type B, Type C. Type A will allow you to pick from 85 different colors, which came in the patch 2.x series. Type B will have the 9 dye choices from the Ishgardian Restoration. Type C will have the 11 dye choices from Cosmic Exploration. So instead of having to carry around 45,000 different dyes, there's now 3. And they all equate. There's no less colors. There's no less thing ages, just better storage and just better everything. It will be great. I cannot wait. My retainers thank them already. This is such a good system, and I'm glad they can finally implement something like this. Really big fan. Really big fan. As you mentioned here, we had a name for it till yesterday, but I didn't like it, so the naming system doesn't exist. So basically, this just shows you here. These are the only ones, like if you buy in the online store, basically. Those are all the ones that can be bought on the online store. They will stay as they are, because obviously they're a completely separate, different thing. They bring out another one, consolidated dyes. When using one of the new dyes, you'll be able to select which of the included colors to apply. So you press it and then you select the color. The available colors, like I said, remain the same. The dyes being consolidated into new dye space will no longer be available. That's fine. Basically, if you've got dyes now, you're just gonna have to go to yeah. Basically, dyes that are in your possession, they're no longer functional when the patch drops. Just goes when the patch goes live, 7.5 goes live, go to the Calamity Salvager and you can exchange them. He even mentions, he goes, oh, it sounds like effort, but there's a command that allows you to basically just run it all and automatically just adjust it in one go. It's fantastic. I think this system's crazy. Crazy good, crazy good. He said obviously the die system hasn't changed much since Ram Reborn. And he said we're also at a point where for a lot of the systems should be reviewed and looked at, which I love the mentality for. They're looking back and they're going, oh, that's very dated. That's very, very dated. Let's probably do something about this. And that's good. That's a very, very good mentality to have. And it will bring 14 forward. I like that. He said there'll be a lot more at FanFest as well, which looking forward to it. Obviously, they'll be talking about stuff they're doing for 8.0, all the system changes and everything. Very cool. They did mention one, like, there was this big, big thing, like reinventing 14, essentially, to look forward to. And they mentioned that comment a few times, so we'll see. So comments about data center issues, going to fix that as well. He says, let me just say, those problems will be fixed. Cross data center party finder, please. That is my hope. Then it doesn't matter where you are. It means I can stay on chaos and still go on cross data center stuff, rather than having to go all the way to light and lose access to all my stuff. So we can only hope. And more on that soon. So maybe more minor updates, but part 2 will be 1 week before FanFest. So it's FanFest is on 24th, so it'll be like 17th-ish or whatever it is. And then the week after, they're flying to NA, it'll be FanFest. Excited for the news on all that kind of stuff. I can't wait. They said they were going to potentially do the live layer at FanFest, but obviously all of the information might have been overwhelming. So, yeah. They're going to discuss all, it's just in details, but simply too much to discuss as a part 2, which it is. They're going to be there forever. He made it funny because we know what DRS is, but he doesn't know. Because he saw comments basically saying, allow entry into DRS with less than 24 people. And he doesn't know what DRS is, people. Delubrum. Savage is what it should have been said. But yes, he talks about how there's going to be more updates. And that was it for the content. And that will be it for this video. In terms of, if you want to see any of the other updates, I might do a little bit of a video for announcements. But thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a really long one, and I do appreciate you sticking through. It's crazy. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the part 1. I was very, very happy with this. I wasn't expecting much. Obviously, I played for a very long time, so I know you don't like what you do and don't get in part 1s and part 2s. But I was surprised and very pleasantly surprised as well. I'm very excited for Beastmaster. The housing looks good. Occult looks good. The dungeon looks good. Content's just looking very, very cool. The fact that the patch is long, maybe I actually step into Savage now. I've been taking quite the break, so maybe I use this time to jump in Savage and I do play some more of the game again, which will be very exciting. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys are excited for, what you're hoping for. I'm so excited to see what comes of the game, and I want to continue to love it and make more content for you guys, which is the plan. This is just the beginning. Thank you so much. I won't keep you anymore. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.